Hey, what's up, Girl Scouts? A little bit loud, different than usual because I'm using my phone because the computer decided it didn't want to cooperate today, or the day before that, or the day before that. But other than that, uh, pretty cool bloke on the channel from across the pond there in England, in the motherland, and uh, does some pretty cool stuff. He blew us off yesterday, but folks, I think there was a pretty good reason behind it. He was getting set up for a fundraising event for the kids in the school there near him, and I think it was a pretty good reason to blow us off. He was getting ready for that, and he was running out of daylight. And I understand I'm there all the time. What's up, everybody in the chat? We got Thompson, we got Nas, we got Earl, we got Chris Gerwitz. What's up? All right, guys. Well, I'll let y'all wait long enough and put him in the background long enough. So we're gonna bring him on. Y'all meet Ian. He's from RCOCM on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, wherever the heck you can dial in something about RC stuff. That's where you find this fella right here. All right, I'm backwards still on my camera. I'm gonna have to fix that because you're not over here.
I am to me.
right. But see, it's got me backwards. But how's it going, man? How'd everything go at the event today?
Yeah, very well. Thank you. It's actually the third event I've done like that.
Right. Well, I watched the one from last year, and that looked like you all had a great time.
Yeah. The video from last year came out like particularly well. Yeah, it worked a lot better than the first attempt. The first attempt we had too many trucks essentially out and not enough people watching, taking care.
He was trying to herd ducks, basically, or herd squirrels. Yeah,
a baptism of fire, as my friend put it.
None of them are ever in a row until you get Mama around, and then they all get in line.
That's it. But yeah, it was very successful. The kids love it.
That's what's awesome.
It opens their eyes. So like half of people don't really know what it is until they see them run and understand that the rigs that I feature are all sort of affordable entry level RCs.
They are affordable. I'll tell you what, there's a lot of them have some pretty good daggone performance to them too.
Yeah, they do.
I mean,
they do. Again, so much better.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, the beauty of it is there, most of the crawlers, the trucks that I feature, they're all upgradable. You can add all the bells and whistles to them. You can spend as much as you like on them, as you know. But it's so darn cheap to begin with, which just makes it accessible for anyone.
Yeah.
And that's what got me into it, and that's what I'm doing now, is just literally just sharing that kind of passion and enthusiasm that it can bring, the RC hobby can bring.
Right. See, that's what we're all about over here at the Redneck Channel. You've seen it, you've watched, and you've seen my channel grow from a wee little channel to just a wee little bigger channel. But
it's not a long time either. I mean, you've really done well. You're doing a great job.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, like you say, you're out there in the community. You're getting people involved. You're getting the word out, and I've got respect for that because that's exactly what I'm doing. But
Yep.
But yeah,
I'll just take care of it on this side of the pond, and you take care of it on that side of the pond. We can just spread it out like a plague or whatever, Because sometimes it seems like this hobby does end up being a plague.
It can be. Yeah, for sure.
Gets a little overwhelming sometimes, but looks like looks like you've been doing good at it, and we're trying to over here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, how long you been into RCs?
Well, as a kid, growing up with the Tamias, I had a touring car, like Mercedes. It was a yellow Mercedes DTM touring car.
Oh,
and a Grasshopper too that I had at the time as well.
I hear you.
So that was more or less my RC experience as a kid, but I had those for years, like 7-8 years.
Right.
Racing them, crashing them, fixing them, and then that got put away, got into my cars, bikes, girls going out, and then in the early 20s, I just randomly bought a nitro. It was a HPI, I can't remember now, Evo, Rush Evo or something, I
Right.
think.
Right.
So that was a nitro, and I gave that thing hell. I ripped that
Dude,
thing.
that's what made me want to get into the hobby. But then, whenever I was a kid, wasn't no way I could do it. And then the batteries started taking over, and I just don't know. My experiences with small CC 2-stroke engines is
Okay.
not good. So I could see me with an RC car with one of them on it, and probably wouldn't be a good thing for me. So I'll let you guys handle all that. RC Dungeon, one of our buddies, he couldn't make it today. He was out buying RC parts.
Yeah, I heard from him.
So yeah.
Yeah.
I said, I see how it is. RC parts are better than coming hanging out with your buddies. I said, I see how it is.
Exactly.
I got to mess with that boy right there.
Did he know? He didn't know what time we were on.
Right. Well, at least I got it close to being right this time. I was only an hour off.
Yeah.
I never did think to just look at the world clock and see, hey, look, he's here, I'm here. Oh, what? 1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm sure it said 6. The internet told me 6 hours difference, but hey.
That's what I was going with. Just not doing my homework as usual,
Yeah. On that note, thank you and apologies for yesterday for
hey, brother, that right there was a good reason to do anything other than come on a podcast. It has to do with RCs. What you was doing was awesome. So keep it up, man. I mean, that's what we take at here,
yeah.
But when you're doing stuff for the kids or doing stuff for the hobby, that's where it's at. Shout out, we got Bob's RC in the house. We got Jim's RC and bikes. We got OG Nitro. See who else we got in here. Nas is still hanging in. Crispy Gerwitz, Jason Earl, Nothing Stock 20 or Nothing Stock. I mean Symbol. Yeah, Alex has been termed the diecast prince from Jason's RC. He's the diecast king, he said, and he said Alex was doing a pretty good job. I said, oh, he's Prince. We're just going to start calling him, how Prince went to the Symbol after so long. We're just going to start calling him Symbol.
Simple.
If you could hear, guys, he's in the background laughing. So, other than the RC crawlers and stuff like that, and the nitros, you do any kind of flying or boating or any of those kind of RCs?
Yeah. I mean, I don't do nitros anymore. I had one 20 years ago, which was good fun. But again, I then shortly after started my own business, and had to be sensible and spend my time doing sensible things. So it's only really the last 2 years that I've got back into RC. And so it's anything affordable. Flying boats, crawlers, fast cars, all of them.
Yeah,
really.
I hear you.
It's the crawlers that kind of to be fair, it was the bashers that got me hooked. Got me back into RC a couple of years ago. And then very shortly after that, I came across crawlers, and my initial was like, crawlers, what's that all about? What you want to go slow? You want to go fast? You want to hit jumps and pick up dirt and stuff. But very quickly, I kind of got it. I understood what it was all about, and that's become a bit more of my focus. But
crawlers got me into it, and then bashers too. But the crawlers seem to grab a hold of you and hold on, especially these little ones.
Yeah, I think they're yeah. Awesome little rig, yeah. I think it's because they're so affordable. You can use them indoors. And I guess in the States, there's a big following, and there's a big scene over there. I'm jealous of the scene you guys have got over there.
Oh man, it's around here. It's just now busted up. You know, here in West Virginia, it's coming up pretty good and hard. But like out there in Michigan, where a lot of my buddies are from, you know, Sliding Sideways RC, James RC Garage, Rock Wolf Designs, Jason's RC. You know, I mean, all those guys, CCX RC, all those guys are right there in Michigan. You know,
Right.
and you know they've got plenty of places and stuff. Up north, you're seeing them a lot of the 24s a lot more because it's indoor stuff. You know, they get so cold up there.
Yeah.
And, you know, like Nas and all those guys, it stays cold. You know, and why not RC? They're all up there in the northern part. You know, and get that cold weather, which you know you all get pretty much weather like us here in West Virginia. You know, regular winters. You know, some deep snow sometimes. Pretty much.
Okay.
Am I right on that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, being inside with the small crawlers, it's nice in the wintertime. You do have something to do instead of sitting there just working on something and taking it back apart just to make sure that you put it back together right, you know.
Well, yeah, I mean, and also obviously in the winter, the temperatures play quite a part in your plastics and whatnot. You know,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
much more likely to break something on a basher than you are a crawler in the cold.
Yeah. Jason Earl, he can vouch for that. He took his brand new MT10 out and run into a tree or mailbox or something.
Yeah.
And wasn't 5 seconds. I mean, it just, you know, it was chilly enough to where that arm was brittle. You know, it was brittle enough to break. You know, it happens. You got a basher, you take it out, you're gonna break something. That's why you get them.
Yeah.
You know,
pretty much. Yeah, exactly. It is, again, you know, it's part of the hobby, but it's a completely different realm of the hobby. But the ethos is the same. You know, it's something that you enjoy. You know what you're doing with it, and you expect, you know, X, Y, or Z to come the end of your session. You know, if you're running a crawler through water or mud, you know that you've then got a good cleaning session afterwards. If you take your basher to a skate park, you know you're going to be fixing it.
Yeah. And if you've got a one of them fast little 4-wheel drive buggies like a WL Toys 1240 17 or 19 or 28s or whatever they are now, you know that most likely you're going to end up putting something on it after you've been out running it around for a day, you know.
Yeah, that's right. Drive shaft or
Dog
suspension.
bone on the front.
Yeah.
I forgot the steering link. Voyage run, you know, first voyage run on it. And I tightened up everything, Loctited everything, forgot the one steering ball end link screw. And out here in front of the house, it sort of raises up like a knoll. And my mom was standing there. I was showing her. I was like, "Yeah, watch how fast this little sucker is." It comes up right by her, and I mean, it was just perfect timing. I wish I could have had the camera set up because the right front tire left the chat, went 30 feet straight up in the air, and of course the truck, you know, went rolling, and I ended up finding the axle and everything. All I had to do was find a rod ball end link from something and put it on there, which I luckily had. I don't know how I did because the only other RC stuff I had was my AX24, you know.
Yeah. You
but
must
I
have
looked
known.
into it. So being, you know, where you deal with you deal with the WL toys or WPL stuff. You deal with all kinds of cool different stuff.
Yeah.
That C21 or 24, 64, whichever ones. Those 60 scale Toyotas are wicked. Yeah. Let me solo you out there. There you go.
This one, you know, a lot of people will know this one. It's a very capable little crawler. It's 16th scale WPL C64. Sorry, C24-1.
Okay, so the 24 is regular cab, and the 64 is the double cab, correct?
Yes, you're right. Yes, 64 is the newer double cab, which is
yeah.
oh,
Yeah. Now,
So
out of those two, which one's your preferred model? You like the 24 or the 64 best? I mean, I
at the
know the other
moment,
one's way decked out way more, but
yeah, it is. I
but
mean,
compared stock to stock,
stock to stock C24. Yeah.
right?
Um, for me anyway. Of course. Um, this, funnily enough, the 64
Yeah.
is going to be my next project.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm going to keep it, standard size wheels, standard wheelbase, general kind of trail truck.
Right, right.
Um, but yeah, I've got everything for it: shocks, axles, everything metal. Um, so we'll see how that goes. But as it is stock, the stock axles do bind on full steering, on full lock, which isn't great. You can alleviate that. There are tricks, but you can alleviate it through the controller with the
With
steering trim
with
button.
trim settings. Okay.
Yeah. But I think once you sort that out, metal axles will sort that out. They're a lot more free moving, and of course gives you the low down weight as well. So yeah, I've got high hopes for it. I think it should be a pretty cool little truck.
Heck yeah, that's awesome.
Mhm.
I really, I'm going to get one of those here soon.
Okay.
That's the reason I'm asking. I was asking for. I was being selfish,
That what,
getting that
the
knowledge there.
64 or the 64 or the 24?
The 24 is what I'm thinking.
Okay, yeah. Because this one, I'll just get it again, is the C24-1 body,
Uh huh.
but with the C14 flatbed. So
Okay.
it's a kind
I
of
was
a
going to
hybrid.
ask that because I knew that the 21 came with a regular bed on it, and I wondered if that was one of the WPL beds. Okay.
That's right, it is, yeah, but
That's
it's
the
off the
14 because that's the cab only with the flatbed. Okay.
that's it. Yeah, yeah.
Gotcha.
Gets a bit confusing until you're in the world and then you
Well, I'm getting
get
there.
to learn.
I'm not there yet, but I'm getting there, and I don't even have one yet. So that's I'm working on
As
it.
soon as you get one, you'll be like, yeah,
Yeah,
you know exactly what's what. Yeah.
yeah. I know Jim Rockwolf. He's got one. I think Jason Earl said he has one
Yeah.
that uh, they've got. And I know I've talked to Dungeon. I think he has a couple of them.
Yeah, he's got a C74, which
Now
is
the
the
74. What's it? Is it the? Okay, yeah, it's the Jimmy or the
Samurai.
yeah, the
Mm.
Samurai. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember him driving it around this winter up there by his mailbox. Yeah,
That's it. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
remember that video now. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
but
Um,
that's pretty cool. So, on your side of the pond, is it hard to get stuff compared to it is, or is it harder for us here in the United States to get stuff when we're ordering RC parts? You know, from China or from here in the States, is it hard for y'all to get stuff from here to there? Or?
I'd say it's more difficult to get it from the States. We do get import duties and on top of our VAT, value added tax,
Right.
which is 20%. We then get an import duty. Um,
See,
I'm
that's
not.
what I was wondering. I didn't figure it was easy to get stuff from here for you all. So it's probably harder for you all to get stuff from here than it is for us to get stuff from China. I mean, just talking wait times and stuff like that. Not getting into the
Yeah,
politics end of it whatsoever because
yeah, kind
that's
of
a rabbit hole
potentially
none
similar.
nobody wants to go down.
But yeah, for us buying from China, it's quick. It's getting quicker. 5 days sometimes.
Wow, that's cool. Now I know Jerry from Jerry's Old Guy Review. He's been getting some pretty good shipping time from whenever he's dealt with AliExpress and Relarlo especially. He's
Yeah,
he's been pumping Relarlo pretty good, which that's understandable. They're treating him right.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
like
It's
Relarlo's as a company. They're not a high priced high end RC
No,
company, but they're coming up with some pretty innovative stuff.
they really are. I mean, they've got at least a couple of trucks that I would like. The Omni Terminator. I don't think you could just mad
Yeah.
little thing. And even the newer, smaller version.
Oh, the Rogue One.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, crazy.
yeah. Yeah, it's pretty much a
Um,
Arlo Omni Terminator scaled down to a big 16th or 18th scale. You know,
that's
uh,
right.
they call it
Yeah,
a 12th, but really the Terminator is really just a big 12 scale, even though it's got the 110 parts. You know,
yeah, it's the 410,
but
isn't it? Yeah,
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 but they call it a mini 110th, which that's I don't care. It's awesome. I got to order some drive cups. Is the only thing. I've got the turtleator back here sitting on the shelf. I got to put her back together whenever I get drive cups. But I had the alloy version, and everybody always says that the drive cups go out on them within 4 to 10 packs. Well, this one's got 70 before it ever went out. Excuse me, ever went out.
okay.
Now the body, that yellow body or grello body, whatever color that body is, that one is junk, and they know it.
Yeah.
They fixed it on all the other bodies,
Okay.
and I I haven't had any trouble out of it. I sent the thing 47 feet in the air doing backflips and bounced once and hit the neighbor's fence. Thank goodness, so it didn't hit his car. But and I hit a 8-inch driveway drain full tilt square on, and the only thing it did was broke the plastic rod end just off
Yeah.
the camber adjuster, and it didn't even bend the link. You know what I mean? It just
Yeah.
broke the plastic end off of it. I had one from
Brilliant.
a bunch of junk I had. I don't even know really where it come from that happened to work just right for it. So, what kind of advice you got for anybody that's starting into the hobby? And you're one of the people that I really wanted to bring on here to be able to showcase this part because I think I know where you're going to go. So I'm going to let you go ahead and go, and then I'll see if I was right.
Okay. So anyone looking to get into RC, I mean, obviously, someone thinks about RC, they think about bashers, planes, tanks, boats, crawlers. It could be anything. I would say just do research. There are toys out there which are going to break and you won't be able to fix. So you need to be able to find the models that are highly regarded, have got good reviews, whether it's a boat, a plane, a crawler, a basher. Get on YouTube. I mean,
Got a lot
I
of
have to.
places that you can go, like RCOCMC
There we go.
on
Yeah.
YouTube.
Well, yeah. I mean, I do plan to give more advice like this through my website. I do have a website, but it's been sat dormant for best part of 2 years. Well, best part of a year and a half. But yeah, I'd like to be able to offer more advice. So I would say do your research, find out what is available as far as parts and upgrades go. Everyone knows that if you go out and spend £400 or £500 on a high-end crawler, you're going to be able to get parts. It's almost a given. But the smaller entry level, the cheaper entry level RCs don't always come with spares or upgrades. But so they're the ones you want to weed out. You want to
Right.
do
You
your
want to try
research.
to stay with like WPL, WL Toys, Larlo, somebody that's
Yeah,
got some parts that you
yeah,
can easily get. And whenever I
yeah,
say easily, not all your local shops are going to have the parts, but some of them will. Some of the people that are lucky enough to have some of the bigger shops like Hobby Towns and stuff, they are going to have a lot more
yeah.
variation, wide variation of parts. But you can
Well,
always
yeah,
get on AliExpress or on the internet and
yeah,
find these parts pretty readily available, even here in the States.
yeah. Well, this is the thing. In the States, it seems like you've got the facilities for you know, stores to go to buy your upgrades and your parts. But in the UK, we're very limited.
See,
Um,
that's the
I
way it
was,
is here in West Virginia and part of the
yeah,
state. So we don't have like a hobby town. There isn't even one
okay.
within 3 hours of us here.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
Dungeon might be close. There might be one up toward DC or Philadelphia area that would maybe be close enough to him to where he could go. But yeah, there's we're about like you all. We don't have, but just we've got the Pit RC shop, the crawl zone down here. Their crawl shop. He's got an
Yeah.
indoor course and an outdoor course and stuff, and he does
Yeah.
some. He does try to keep some parts in for the stuff that people run around here, but we've got Ed's RC. There's one here and then one up in Parkersburg, but you know they're trying to keep up with big places and they can't do it. Even though they're the pretty much the only place to go to except for the internet around here. So
Yeah.
I
That's why
feel
you're
staying over there.
that's why what you're doing is so important. So you can drive more people to these places and, you know, build their businesses and,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, we're actually going
it
to have
takes time.
Cobra RC, the owner of the Pit Crawl Zone, on here here in a couple weeks. We just got to get our schedules together, and my people talk to his people, and they do their talking, and
Cool. Just as ours did, yeah, yeah.
yeah. Hi, there's my people.
That's it, right.
Right. So that's awesome, man. And now you built some pretty good looking uh, obstacles for your fundraiser there yesterday at the school. Tell us about what all you did on that, if you got a little bit of time and want to.
Well, my day job is landscaping, so I do, you know, garden makeovers,
Right.
driveways, patios, fencing. So I end up with excess rocks, timber, all that sort of stuff. So it
Fun
is,
RC course building stuff.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, I did a Facebook post last night about, you know, I'm getting prepped for tomorrow's event, but really the prep didn't take that long. It was building what I did probably took about an hour. I was in the garden for about an hour and a half. I had a beer, I had my music on,
Oh yeah.
and you know, it's just quick, easy, especially for me with the tools and the materials to grab.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
So yeah, essentially the course that I do allows the kids to drive a stock rig.
Right.
I
Yeah.
do,
Whatever you're coming into the hobby with, you can go out and show that you can play
yeah,
and have a good time with it.
that's it. Yeah, so they're playing with the stock rigs, and then I can show them, you know, my upgraded rigs and show them the potential.
Right.
Um,
Once they
and
learn how to do it, and
Yeah, a lot of them haven't used a controller before, so it's a case of showing each kid, you know, how to use a controller, and it is quite amazing how quickly some of these kids can pick it up. You know,
hey,
they're
on
all,
that note right there, I got a video call yesterday. Well, actually, I walked into a video call. My daughter was talking to my mom. She said, "Oh, Dad, wait, hold on, wait. Hey, go get your truck." And I got Alec, my first grandson, a remote control rotator wrecker. It's a big wrecker, but it's got the rotator crane for whenever they lift over
yeah,
embankments and overpasses and stuff. Because both
yeah,
his mommy and his daddy both are tow truck drivers, and I got him an RC one,
yes.
an inexpensive one because he's 3 years old. So it was not really proportional either way. But the rotator part, the crane part, was manual because I knew how I was at 3 years old. I was a wrecking ball, just like slinging off that rotator. I would tear up stuff.
Yeah,
And I knew that he would learn the concept of the truck before he would the concept of the crane not working right the way when he wanted it to, and him grabbing it and moving it. Well,
yeah.
he was driving it yesterday. That's awesome. It was a good thing. I was
Sound.
glad. She's like, "Dad, I was getting ready to call, but you're here now. Hold on." But,
Wow, yeah, obviously there, man. He's learning young. That is
yeah.
young.
Oh yeah. Well, he's the reason that I got into this. I was like, heck, him and this daggone old big old ball fur over here. To get into the RC hobby was to play with him and to play with my dog, and all of that, and learn, teach him together. Well, his mommy up and moved halfway across the country on me to Phoenix, so we have to do it by video chat now.
Right, I see. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, not easy.
So you've got the 64. You say is your next project coming up, huh?
Yeah. Fully sponsored, I must add, through AliExpress. I'm affiliated with AliExpress,
Right.
and so yeah, they came to me quite early on, really, coming up to a year ago, I think. They sent me an email. Obviously, I was a little bit dubious about receiving an email from
Right.
somewhere as big as AliExpress, but they just said we like what you're doing on your channel. Would you like to join our influencer program?
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I mean at the time I was on their affiliate program, which anyone can sign up to. So at the time I was essentially doing what I'm doing now, but on their affiliate program.
Okay.
So the links would provide me a commission, and I'd just do my video, put a link in the description, and post it. And I was getting through those, was enjoying it. So they obviously saw the fact that I'm essentially promoting stuff for them,
Right.
and they liked what I was doing. So yeah, they invited me onto their affiliate program. Sorry, their influencer program.
Right. Okay.
Which once I got contacted, I went online to check it up. What's this? Influencer program, and you'd usually need 10,000 plus followers to
Right.
join their influencer program. So I saw the benefits and what was on offer, and of course, I was like, yeah, go for it. And
That's awesome.
so the sponsorship essentially through the influencer program is they give you a certain amount of bonus dollars to spend. They
Right.
send you the item, and you essentially unbox it, review it, or showcase it, which is what I sort of do. I don't
Right.
essentially review things, I just showcase them. Show what's in the box, how much it's for, where you can get it from, do some footage of it, and that's providing me with, depending on how much you put in, it's like anything, the more you put in, the more you get out.
Right.
But it's something that, like I say, I was doing naturally anyway. But now AliExpress are sending me stuff to review, although I get to choose.
That's awesome.
All the upgrades for this. Well, I chose this, the
Right.
C64. I've done an unboxing and a trading video of that. So yeah, that came from AliExpress, and all the upgrades that I've got coming well, I've got them here, ready to go on. They're all provided as well. It just means that I can continue sharing in great detail
Right.
what's available for not very much money.
Yeah. You can say that that rig right there that you're getting ready to build on it. Roughly, what kind of budget did you put into that build, parts wise? Like retail parts wise.
What, into this C64?
Yeah, what you're going to be
the
putting into it. I know that they're sending you the stuff, but retail wise, parts list wise, what's that roughly you're going to have into that one?
Parts plus the truck, say £110. So
okay, so $170.
$150 or something like that.
150, something like that. Okay.
Mm.
So that's not bad for a 16th scale truck.
Well, that's it.
scale
I mean,
check, and
it
built the
is.
way you want it for
Yeah,
about what you can get into a 1/24 or 1/18 scale ready to run
yeah,
through like Axel Red Cat.
yeah, yeah. That's right. And I mean, I'll be honest. These models, the WPL, the MNs, they're not the best crawlers. They've not got the best electronics. What they're good for is their initial value, like the detailed hard body is a
Yep.
big
And the
is a
scale
big
driving and the
yeah,
scale,
scale driving,
shots.
exactly. Unless you go all out and sort of really try and make it perform by doing all the upgrades. And
I've watched that one do things that, yeah.
yeah, it was good fun. I mean, that truck started stock and it went through 7 or 8 different versions until I eventually got to that, and it's an amalgamation of my experience and skills that I've picked up in the last 2 years, really.
Right, right. And I'll tell you, learning to tiny truck mechanic, especially on different types of tiny trucks, is, I think it's harder than 1-to-1, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know. I've had experience with one-to-ones, and I don't enjoy it. I really don't. I'm very much, I'll do my bit, pay someone to do their bit,
There you
and
go. I understand that.
yeah,
Uh, that's like a lot of people don't do what I like to do. Well, what I pretty much have done all my life, and that's finish drywall and plaster. A
okay,
lot of people don't like that, or swinging a hammer. That's I've read tape measures and swung hammers all my life.
yeah,
Uh, but I've also been into the sales part. Sold cars for 14 years on and off. Uh,
yeah.
yeah, done telemarketing. I've done a lot of things. So now I'm trying to break into content creating, and it's coming along pretty good.
Yeah, it's another steep learning curve, isn't it?
It's
Yeah.
like the Alps. Seems like to me, except there's not very many jagged edges. It's just straight up and straight down.
Yeah, yeah,
But
no,
yeah, you're right. It is, but it's been fun, and I'm glad I'm able to do it. Especially to be able to come on here and provide a spot for people coming into the hobby that get to know people that are showing them what they're trying to learn in the hobby. The people on YouTube that are the ones that they're going to be looking to for questions. Let them learn to meet the people behind it. The real life part of them, and why
yeah,
they got into the hobby, and this, that, and the other. And I figured getting you on here would be a great one for that, because you're showing that you can get into the hobby for a good value of your money,
yeah,
and not buying toy stuff that's
mm,
close to the same price or even higher sometimes
yeah,
than what you're able to get a hobby grade
yeah. That's
RC4.
mm, absolutely. Don't get me wrong. The natural progression when you buy these affordable RCs is they get more and more expensive. You find a
Right.
budget, don't you?
Oh
So
yeah.
I do play with the 10 scales as well. I've got my own. Uh, there's just the body at the moment, but my
Oh
uh,
yeah.
that's my 10th scale body, which is obviously a Jeep Wrangler, but um, it's built on. It's built on this. I think it's an SCX 10-2 chassis,
Yeah, I believe so.
but it's a
I'm
Chinese
not real
body.
familiar with the SX once they get above 24 scale.
Right.
I'm more red cat aligned on
Yeah.
that, but that's sweet.
Yeah, so that's another build. I've met one of my now very good friends maybe a year ago or so through the RC scene, and he gave me a lot of knowledge, inspiration, and skills really, and parts to help build that,
Heck
which I
yeah.
call the wagon. There's quite a lot of videos on my channel about that as well. Lots of training videos. So yeah, it's a natural progression, you know. But
Yeah,
the
it does
the
go up.
entry, yeah, the entry level is still my passion. You know, that's what I like to share. That's what I like to promote. Just to kind of, you know, stir enthusiasm and get new blood into the hobby really, and just
Yeah.
see it grow. Um, so yeah, it's even if I'm out down the local park playing with the RCs, you always get someone talk to you about it. You know, whether it's an airplane, a basher, a
Yep.
crawler. People love the crawlers. They
Oh
really
yeah.
do. You know, because the fast cars, the bashers, speed cars, etc. People look at them and just think, oh, you know, it's a little bit brash, you know, a little bit
Yeah.
a bit
That's why
antisocial
they're fun.
maybe. Yeah. But the crawlers, people just look at them and think and just say, wow, look at that. You know, it's
Hmm.
look at all the suspension moving and stuff like
Yep.
that. They can't believe it almost. And it
Yep.
kind of opens their eyes. And you can imagine that's what it's doing to the kids as well
Oh yeah. I mean,
when
their eyes get bigger around the pie plates. You know.
that's
Hey,
right.
what's up, Coffee Cup? He's in the chat. That RC Dungeon just texted me a minute ago. He might be able to stop in here in a few. He was on his way home. So,
Okay, so
yeah, he'd been out buying RC parts all day.
yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. And you know, I'm gonna take a little second here and plug this daggone truck right here. I'll tell you what, my buddy Nathan Warner, he said, I'm coming up with some stuff. He said, if you want to try them, he said, I want to send them to you and let you try it out and see what you think. Like, okay, cool. You know, I said, it looks like you got something pretty good working here. Yeah, shoot, yeah, I'll try to tear something up. You know, not really try to, but it's 3D printed and it's three
Okay.
layers PLA, and this thing has been through heck with me. It falls off my table all the time. There's videos of it landing flat right dead on its back. Nothing has hurt this rig yet, and it's pretty daggone performance capable. Uh, and for the price of it, you know, it's affordable to get into a one-on-one built 24 scale, 18 scale RC. Thanks to
Yeah.
Mofo RC for the X15s that I got off Sir Mustachio up there at Mr. Nick. And I lost my cooler out of the bed. I didn't get it secured in there yet for my uh, some of my scale bits, but he sent me a scale cooler whenever I ordered some parts from X15, and I'm telling you, if y'all want to check it out, NSCRC on Facebook and Etsy, I believe. And he's coming up with the bullet chassis. This is the shooter chassis. He's coming up with a bullet chassis, which is a more competition style, looks like a Prophet Design or a Texoma Slayer rig, that type of chassis. And $35 for a skid and a chassis. And it's got tailgate bumpers. I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff that he's done with these things, let alone how durable they are. You know,
Yeah.
this thing takes a beating. I mean, really, I think that's partially the reason that he sent it to me is because he sees that, you know, I'm pretty hard on stuff. But you
Get a
know, he
good
wanted
test.
he wanted real, you know, feedback on it. Had a little problem with my skid a little bit, but that's okay. He's already figured that part out on his own, and I told him about it. And he's like, "Yep." He said, "Already fixed." He said, "The bullet's already got that chassis or skid plate with it. This whole cab unbolts with 4
Wow.
screws. You can take it off. You can work on anything inside the cab. The roof itself just comes off if you just want to take the roof off. It'll fit the Goop RC motor transmission combo inside that cab. It actually fits. We've checked it."
Yeah.
uh,
Good man.
you
That's
know, that's
epic.
another way to get to affordably get into the hobby, especially, you know, if you go and shop local here, uh, well, not local to here, but local to Texas, Mofo. You know, Nick does try to bring in good parts for and make good parts for affordable price, and he's doing a pretty good job at that.
Sounds it.
You know, now that's the only plug I'm going to give, you know, on that, except for the NSC RC. But yeah, Jason Earl used used one of your codes the other day, man. Y'all go over to his channel on his channel on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, whatever. He's always got links. Like he said, you know, he gets a little bit of money every time you use a link, and you all get a good deal on parts. And AliExpress has been shipping out pretty good local here lately. Haven't had anybody had any problems with getting anything that they've ordered. You know, it might be a week or two longer than normal, but everybody's still getting their parts. So that's awesome.
That is good, man. Yeah. I didn't know how everything was going over there. You know, receiving things from China and the prices and whatnot.
But haven't saw too much. I haven't personally heard of anybody having to deal with a bunch of price hike ups or anything. Now, I've heard there's a couple of the bigger companies that are sort of throwing some price hikes that shouldn't be already. I don't know for sure. It's just hearsay. You know, you see what you hear on Facebook and YouTube. So take that with a grain of salt, throw it up in the air, and I bet you never find none of them again. So.
Yeah, could well be, but that's good to hear. Yeah, because it was sort of uncertain times for everyone, really. But yeah, I think actually WPL, they announced quite serious price increases due to the tariffs, but now that's come back down. I think initially they said they weren't going to increase their prices, and then they did, and now they've come down again. So
right. I think it's just everybody just getting a little bit scared and then backing back off of it after things have sort of settled down some, you know.
Yeah, it's just seems so. I mean, you know, from what I can tell, it's just seems so uncertain at any one stage. So you know, at any one stage, it's just hearsay, and what can we do? You know.
Nothing.
No.
We're in a hobby that is right smack dab in the middle of all of it, and we just got to deal with what the PTB say, you know, the powers that be. So
yeah.
There's no reason to gripe or complain.
Yeah. One thing on that
note, it is. What are you going to do? You know.
Yeah, exactly that. But all you can hope for is the manufacturers don't add unnecessary tariffs or taxes.
Right. Yeah. That's what we're hoping. And like you said, WPL went up a little bit and then came down. Well, this is one of the main hobbies around, or main people in the hobby around here. Was throwing up some pretty steep prices, you know.
Really?
Not sure exactly. I'm not going to say because I'm not quite sure what company that it was, but I've just seen it a few places on YouTube talking about it, and you know.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, on that note with WPL, they are very customer focused.
Oh yeah. Every time I've heard of anybody having a problem with anything or needing anything to do with, I mean, the company's always been straight up right there for them. And that's something that I stick with. That's why I stick with NEWFOLKS, because anytime I've ever had an issue with anything, even with knowing how to do something, I've got a hold of them guys over at NEWFOLKS. Nick is always awesome to help, you know, and explain something to you. And if you're being a dumbass, he'll tell you you're being a dumbass. But, you know, hey, I need that sometimes. Ask Alec or Jason. They'll tell you. And, you know, I try to stay with people in places that are customer oriented, you know, not all about the bottom dollar. And that seems like that's with WPL and WL Toys even are going. Arlo is doing the same thing. They're offering a lot of ingenuity and initiative and nice vehicles for a better than the mainstay price, you know. And putting up just quality stuff.
I mean, their price range is kind of mid-level to what you can pay, you know, and
right. And but they're doing good. You know,
Yeah.
I've spoken to Andy Rodarlo, you know, in messages and stuff, and explained that proprietary parts that are sometimes hurting because you can't just get parts from anywhere. You've got to get them from Amarillo or Rodarlo specifically.
Right.
You know, on a lot of things, and that really, it looks good on the bottom line, but when it comes to it, people wanting parts availability are going to want to be able to get parts from other places than from the factory. But
Yeah.
you know, that's just my way of thinking. I'm not a person that's in a big big corporation like they are making the big bucks. So
Right.
you know,
Yeah, yeah. They must be doing something right, I suppose.
right. And they make awesome cars. And they're doing
Yeah.
what Traxxas did 15, 20 years ago to make themselves to where they're at. They're doing innovative stuff, you know,
Mm. Yeah.
which
Very
is
impressive.
something that I feel that Traxxas has slacked on in a while. But I'm new to the hobby. I don't have a whole lot of the history behind it all.
No,
I don't,
same.
you know.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's the beauty of it where we are in the hobby. We've not been in it for a long time. We don't have um, you
Those
know,
biases, really.
no, exactly. It's yeah, and I think that that can kind of ruin the joy of the hobby. I think you know, I can uh, yeah, I can empathize with anybody's preferences or what they prefer and their opinion and their choice. It is absolutely. I love all that because it gives you different opinions from different angles from different areas of
Right.
the hobby.
Exactly.
It's such a big hobby. It's just
Right.
interesting to me to hear of all of these opinions and all of these ideas or needs or requirements.
Yep. We
It's
don't have
just
to be like old Brett Allen and be a Traxxas fanboy. Wink, wink, nod, nod. I kid, I kid, I kid. I know you're a Red Cat man and an Army man. I got to give Brett a
wind
shout out,
up.
man. He's goofy. Hey,
Wind
I
up.
love his channel, man. Have you watched Life of Ballin on
I
YouTube?
haven't actually found no.
Check him out, man. Brett and Byron, Austin, and them. They they do a lot of cool stuff. You know, like he made paddle tire inserts for all of his cars, 3D printed them and run them on everything. So every time I see a video of his, I put paddle tires on it, put paddle tires on it. You know, and it messes with everybody in the chat and stuff. He's a real good guy. But yeah, they call him Traxxas fanboy and Armor fanboy and stuff. That's the reason I just throw the jig out there at him a little bit, poking fun at him because he's got a great channel over there. Y'all need to check him out too.
But this
He'll
is the
be
thing.
he'll be on the channel here before long too.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, if he can take all that and find the funny side, then brilliant. That's all
Yep.
part of the banter, isn't it? Of the hobby. There's got to be a bit of banter and a bit
Oh yeah.
piss taking.
And and the thing is, it's awesome that if you're able to do it, it's cool. But it's also awesome that you're able to get into it with the WPLs and stuff and have quality fun with them. You know,
Yeah.
to where if you do have a little bit too much quality fun, you can work on it. You can fix it. Learning to do it is also a great thing. Even
Yeah.
though sometimes it makes you just want to, pull out your hair. Look what it's done to me. I mean, so
You got to trim.
right. Oh man. Well, I'm telling you what. Usually try to keep it right at about an hour, and we're getting right up to 57 minutes. Is there anything in the chat that anybody would like to ask? Let's see. Oh, let's see. Figuring out how to do that now. Oh, okay. Let's see. We got Goat Neck RC Crawlers is in the house. Coffee Cup RC is in the house. Bob's RC. Jim's RC and Bikes. Why are you so nosy, Mr. Nas? And Jason Earl. And Nothing Stop 83. If there's anybody in there who wants to ask Mr. Ian a question. Be more than happy to answer it for you if you got one. Now, if you're watching the replay on this, guys, I'm gonna make sure that we tag Ian in one of the first pinned comments. That way, if y'all got a question for him, you can hit him up, or you can go over to his channel, RCOCM Official, on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, anything else, Twitter.
No Twitter or X as it's now known.
Yeah. TikTok.
Yeah. So Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and I do have a website, and I've got a eBay store as well. In the UK. I only ship to the UK, but yeah, a small selection of spares and upgrades for WPL and MN models.
Okay. I'll tell you what, guys. I'll have him send me links, and I will put this down in the comments of the post after this goes live, or post, and you go back and watch it. You'll be able to go down into the comments and find it. That way, we support those that are supporting the RC community just like us. Show the love to the ones we can and help out. That's the way we do it around here. And if it helps us out in the long run, hey, that's cool too. But we're all about RC brothers helping RC brothers. That's what got me into this, and it's all sliding sideways. Scabby Scab's fault. We blame him for turning me loose on camera, and it's all his fault. So y'all make sure you go thank him over there at Sliding Sideways RC, and use Sliding Sideways RC at MofoRC.com. Get 10% off and discount when you go to pay. That one I can remember. Daggone, Ian's got so many over here. He's got a list. I couldn't remember all of them, heck, let alone one of them. But he's got a lot of discount codes for AliExpress, guys, and he's shows you exactly what he does on his cars and what you can do getting into the hobby. With a little bit of money compared to having to go in all out and spending $400 or $500 at first. You can start for under $100 and get you a car that's ready to run. All you got to do is add the daggone batteries to the controller and go. And you can buy parts, do whatever you want to make, like you said, a nice scale truck, or you can go all the way out like you did on that C21A and just go ballistic on it and make it a super duper crawler.
True block crawler, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I watched that video whenever you was first building that after you got it done. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Never.
I'm happy with it now.
I mean, I did, and I was like, wow, these are nice scale trucks. But then you go see a nice scale truck doing some of the stuff that, say, if size for size, if this was the same size, this one would be doing, and that's,
yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you can make what you want out of them, really. Yeah. Cut them up, modify them, put a brushless motor in, Yeah, so versatile.
Yep. Well, guys, I think we're going to jump off here. If anybody's got any more questions or anything, like I said, just let me know, and we'll forward them on to Ian there. And there's 5 hours difference in between East Coast time, Eastern Standard Time, and Greenwich Mean Time. I got it right again.
It's fun.
Hang on, but hey, I remember there's that line's over there somewhere.
We know it now.
Well, guys, y'all be good. Keep them straight out there, and peace out, Girl Scouts. And we thank y'all for stopping by.
Thank you, guys. Nice to meet you all.